It's summer break, and we are here for it.
Oh, yes, we are, y'all. We are starting our summer break series.
Woo-woo.
In the month of July, we're going to be talking all about relationships. And then in the month of August, we're going to be talking all about fitness.
And we're going to do it in short 15-minute episodes so that you can enjoy your summer.
And get that R&R in.
Let's do this.
Welcome to the Fools in Love podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're talking all about keeping the fun in your relationship. And I'm going to be honest, it's been hard to record this episode. We wanted to take you through one of our date nights and just show you how easy it is. But then things just kept coming up. And so we're coming at you right now during our lunch break. Yes, that's right. Our lunch break. How sexy is that?
We figured we would just go ahead and do a sample of just a funny, kind of goofy date situation. And we actually love a good lunch date. It's not uncommon for us to do a lunch date, although usually it involves food of some sort. But today we wanted to go through some funny questions, some serious questions, and just kind of talk to each other and get the conversation flowing and take you guys along.
Right. And the idea here is really just to show you how easy this is. I know a lot of times we build it up in our mind. We talk to you all about this. It's so easy. Really, it's just about like bringing that enjoyment in and like connecting as a couple. And so it doesn't really matter what it is. Maybe you'll decide to take some of these questions and just question your spouse with it and just see what they say. And maybe you'll figure out something completely different. We don't know your interests. But the thing is just finding that time to commit to each other and make it happen, Captain.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. Are you ready?
Yes.
What's the funniest lyric you've ever misheard?
Oh, gosh. The first thing that comes to mind, and again, we have not like reviewed these, so this is raw, folks. The first thing that comes to mind is Attention by Charlie Puth.
Oh, yeah.
It's run around, putting that turtle on your knee.
That's a good one. When I Googled that and realized that was not the word, I was like, oh, okay. I think for me, I'm just going to answer it too. I don't know if I'm supposed to. Am I supposed to?
Go for it.
Okay. I think that for me, it's the everybody in the club getting tipsy. And I thought once upon a time that it was everybody in the club getting tips. As in everyone was getting, money and dollar bills.
Hey, that's a pretty good club to be in, I'll tell you. All right, I got one for you. What fast food place are you ashamed to admit that you love?
Oh my gosh, this one's super easy for me. I love Taco Bell, and I know that most people are just absolutely mortified by Taco Bell, and I probably should have outgrown that one about 23 years of age, but I didn't, and I still love it, and I know it's grade Z meat, and I don't care. I'm here for it.
I feel like any fast food you should really be ashamed of, and I say that as like a avid fast food eater. I know I probably shouldn't admit it, but like I'm pretty ashamed of all of them. They're just terrible. And so I'm sorry if you're out there under the belief that it's a real quality meat or content, but hey, hate to burst your bubble there.
I also really love a Big Mac, which I know would really bother a lot of people. All right. Which sandwich topping do you most identify with?
Man, I'd have to say a pickle. I feel like it adds a little bit extra pizzazz, adds a little fun to any sandwich. And I just feel like me and the pickle could hang, in a sandwich together. It just adds that little extra zest.
I like that a lot.
How about you?
I mean, my gut goes to avocado, but I don't really know why. I just feel like I really do like avocados a lot. I add it to every sandwich in real life that I possibly can. And I mean, they're just delicious. They're heartwarming. Everybody loves them. What more could you ask for?
Unless you're making a PB&J.
Well,
that can get a little sketchy.
I wouldn't want a pickle on a PB&J though either.
Okay. Can you name one thing that you know is kind of ridiculous, but you're adamant about and will argue over it to the death?
Oh gosh. Can you think of something I'm adamant over?
The first thing that comes to mind, because if you all don't know Meg, it's like the English language and saying things appropriately and punctuating appropriately.
Okay, so it's funny you bring that up because the only thing that came to my head when you asked that is the fact that I will argue for the word judgment not having the E, which is actually correct, by the way. It doesn't have the E. It's judgment with no E between the G and the M. But that's a story for another day. I do argue that, and every time I see it, like, you know, if it's on a Bible verse at church or on the screen or something, anytime I see it written with the E, it bothers me. And I know that it's accepted now these days, but it doesn't belong there.
Yeah, I'm stubborn, so pretty much everything I argue about is probably ridiculous, but I'm working on it. The first step is admitting it, right?
What's the goofiest knock-knock joke you know?
Ooh, I love this one. The only thing that'll come to mind is, it's not a knock-knock joke, but I'll use it anyway. It's from Barbie. My daughter told it to us. Why did the egg cross the road?
Why?
Because it was stapled to a chicken. That is so bad.
Wow. Okay, so the one that I was thinking of is also courtesy of our lovely children who think this is the funniest thing ever. And that is, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Except I don't do it nearly as good as the kids do because I was way slow. But you're supposed to moo as soon as they start talking.
Okay, we'll get a little deep now. If you could relive one day in your life, which day would you pick?
Oh gosh, one day. I mean, that's really hard. I mean, obviously, I feel like our wedding day was amazing. The birth of both of our children was amazing, and I don't know that you could pick one over the other. But just based on like our recent life, I just have to say I would relive our very recent, as in like a week and a half ago, vow renewal day, because that day was the bomb, and I loved everything about it. And it made me just feel so in love with you. And I can't wait to relive that one on next week's episode too in detail.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah, I think the easiest ones to go to would be like the marriage and the kids. So, I mean, I'll mention it here, but some of my favorite times are times where it's literally just me and you, and we're usually sitting on the beach. Like, I think back, like me and Megan took a trip to Punta Cana. Was it a year ago at this point?
Maybe a little bit more.
Maybe like 2 years ago. But literally we woke up every day and we just sat in the sand and we had nothing else to do. And we are busy a lot of the time. So like those are just some of my best days, just days where we can relax and just be us. And that usually is where I would go.
Love it. Okay. Got to find my place here, guys. If you were in a witness protection program, what would be your new name and where would you go?
Oh, well, my new name is how you always come up with these names. So it's your middle name and then the street you grew up on. So mine would be Michael Washburn.
Yes.
How about you?
You can say hello to Kathleen Blanchard over here.
Hello, Kathy. Or is it just Kathleen?
It's Kathleen.
I know people are particular about that.
I'm going to say Kathleen.
And where I would go, probably someplace in Europe, maybe someplace on the beach. I don't know.
Ooh, I feel like I would escape to somewhere kind of tropically. I mean, I don't know exactly where, but, you know, if I could get to the beach, like you said, that'd be great.
All right, here's a good one. What's the dumbest thing you've ever cried about?
There's so many, but I think this one has to be mentioned in this episode. When we were in college, I tried to make a at-home oven pizza.
A DiGiorno, I believe.
A DiGiorno or similar, you know, whatever. Probably cheaper than that because #college life. But I burned it. And rather than being like, oh, I burned it, let's move on with my life, I sobbed hysterically.
Hey, to be fair, I think we did upgrade to the garlic bread pizza. So it was probably $1 more at that time.
Oh, okay. So now I feel a little bit better about my crying. What about you?
I honestly don't know. I think that it's not so much funny, but like the times where I'm like really frustrated is when I'll cry about really dumb things. Like our day's been really stressful and long. I can't think of one, honestly, off the top of my head, but that's where I would go because I know it's ridiculous in the moment, but I'm still just going to let it fly. I cry, guys. Sorry. That's me.
Oh, okay. Here's a good one for you. What board game do you hate the most?
So simple. So simple. Connect 4. It is the stupidest, worst game I've ever played. And when you're married to a former latchkey kid who literally played Connect 4 like it was her job and you can't possibly win. And let's be honest, guys, even when you do win, you know she let you. Oh, it's so bad. What about you?
Well, I'm trying to think of a board game that I don't love, and I'm coming up short. Is there anything that I don't love? I don't even know if I really dislike any board games. I guess Monopoly, just because it's so incredibly long. I just don't really ever feel motivated to play it, but I don't hate it, really.
Right. I mean, honestly, but games are one of our favorite thing too. Just as a side note, we love playing games together. So a lot of times on Instagram, you'll see our late night date nights where we might have a pina colada and a game or two. And that's just what we love to do. And that's what we've always loved to do. We kind of go back to that a lot.
I like that late night date night. That's cute. Except late night is like 9:00, but
Hey,
that's neither here nor there.
I'll take the happy accident there. All right. What is one thing you refuse to share? I'm guessing that means one thing you just refuse to share with someone. Like,
oh, I would think like some people don't like share their food, like their fries or something, but I don't. Well, something I refuse to share. I mean, we're parents. Is there anything that I don't share with our kids and you?
I don't know. I mean,
this one's hard.
It is hard. And I mean, if it goes to the context of just sharing things, I really don't like to share my food. I mean, I will, but begrudgingly.
Except with me. You always willingly share with me.
Yeah. And then, that's love, guys. And then the just sharing of things, we try to be like really transparent. So there's a lot of things that we don't share. But, you got to keep some of yourself back for your relationship. So, I get in this social media age, we want to share everything. But, there's some things that we have that are just between us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think on a lighter note on that one, I mean, I would refuse to share my toothbrush. And I know people do that and it weirds me out. So
sorry if we're calling you out.
If we're calling you out.
But
sorry,
you're gross.
Sorry. What Disney princess do you find to be the most attractive? Oh, let's hear this.
Oh, man. This is tough because, like, as a child of the 80s, there was a lot of hot princesses. I think I always had a soft spot for Jasmine. She had a little ethnic tone. I was a fan of her.
She does. She looks exotic. I like her. She's beautiful.
She's very exotic. I also loved Ariel. I don't know how I feel about the gills or the fins, but I don't know if she had gills. But I always thought she was quite attractive too.
I mean, I really like Ariel too. I think she's beautiful. And I think I like Belle. She's so understated. And I just think she has a natural beauty about her.
Yeah, she does have kind of a subtle hotness, doesn't she?
Let's move on.
Please do. Okay, if you could be on any reality TV show, which one would it be?
We don't even watch any reality TV shows. My younger self would have been like, I think I should have done Real World because it was so ridiculous and it would have been something that's so beyond anything I would have ever been comfortable with. I think it would have just been like, I would have been the awkward weirdo and just not fit in at all. And it would have been quite the storyline. But current day, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think my mom is the only one that still watches this show, but I always thought I'd like to be on Survivor. It just looked fun. Like you'd be able to like go on a trip, like somewhere crazy and then like try to survive. And there's a lot of strategy to it. So I like that idea. And I think I'd do well. I don't know.
You can have that one. I've always been intrigued by The Amazing Race, I guess.
Yeah, I think we'd kill it on The Amazing Race.
Yeah, let's plan on that. Okay, so we're going to do one more. Okay, so this is a good one because you have a couple that I'm thinking of right now as I get ready to ask it. What's one strange habit that you have?
The strangest habit that I have, and don't judge me, people, is before I put on my deodorant, I always smell it. I don't smell like my pits. I just pull the cap off and I smell the deodorant and then I put it on.
I'm dying right now. It's even funnier when we're recording it, even though I know you do it.
What did you have? You said there was other things.
I can't even think, but I just know that every time I look at you, I'm like, man, that's a weird habit. Why does he do that?
Anyway, I think that's a great place to stop. I hope you guys took some of this in, had a couple laughs. Maybe you could take some of these questions back to your partner and ask and just see what they come up with. And then make sure if you do to hit us up on the DM. I have to hear some of these things, like these real pressing questions like, who do you think the hottest Disney princess is? And just like reach back out to us. But again, we just wanted to show you how easy it is to get together, to do this, to have fun, to bring that joy in your relationship. Because really at the end of the day, life's really stressful. And having that fun and rekindling why you fell in love in the first place is what it's all about.
Guys, we have so much fun no matter what little date night we're doing, whether it's 15 minutes or 2 hours and 15 minutes or longer. It doesn't matter to us. We hope you feel the same about you and your partner. Have a great day. Well, guys, that's it for today. But if you liked this podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts so we can share our message with more people.
We'd love to connect with y'all, so be sure to shoot us a DM over on Instagram. We're at Fools in Love Podcast.
Talk soon.